part 6 of my work building tips. Today we will finish adding muscles to our culture. Adding onto the flag, what are a few national symbols in your culture? And what are their significance? You can keep it vague, it doesn't matter, you just need an idea. Next, go to the animal part of the skeleton we made in parts 1 and 2. Now, when it comes to cultures specifically, it's best to focus on domestic animals. A few different examples from my own worlds in my work in progress. My Little Pony retelling, which I still need a name for. The Aerowolf pack use giant birds called ROCS to pull their flying wagons through the sky or across the land. In my work in progress, Feathered Friends, my favorite domestic animal I made for them is called Nibisaksharna. It's a species of unicorn that's part snow leopard and used for hard manual labor. Unfortunately, this does mean they aren't treated very well. In my work in progress, Substance A Descendants retelling, there's a horse breed called Nendrokohavam. It's a highly prized war horse known for having crimson red manes and tails with ghostly gray pelts. Bred to have the balance of a mountain goat to navigate rocky desert canyons or mountains with ease. In my work in progress, Twisted Wonderland retelling, which I still can't decide on a name for, there are chigers, large creatures that look like cheetahs. They are part feline, part equine, and compete in horse shows in their own categories. Returning to Substance, there is the Morbihan zebra, a rare domesticated zebra, domesticated out of pure spite and an uncanny sense of stubbornness. They are war mounts and camp guards. Larger than the average zebra, they are docile enough to ride, but only if you have a high enough skill level. Don't put a child on their back unless you want to yeet them into the next county over. Morbihan zebras need to be around their rider since birth to accept them. They don't like straying far from the people they know, and if you try to steal them, you're going to find out how a dog feels when a donkey decides they are a threat. They prefer the company of donkeys to that of their own kind. I have a lot more, but I'm sure you get the point. Making 1 or 2 domestic animals can really breath a new sense of life into your culture and give a good idea on its history. Expand the animals you have and ask yourself, why would my people domesticate this animal? If they domesticated an animal that is wild like zebras, I suggest you look into why they weren't domesticated by us in the first place. And use that to determine a few different things in this new species as well as what your people might have bred into them. Using the Morbihan zebra, they were bred to bond to one person, and that in itself was difficult given that zebras don't even care about each other. This and their natural aggression were ideal for camp guards back before they domesticated dogs into their culture. You can also use this in reverse to make your wild animals that may play a role in your culture. Making 1 or 2 can really help to understand how that culture might handle farming, hunting, traveling, a lot of different things. In India, they wear human face masks on the backs of their heads to make the tigers think they have been seen and thus not attack them. Another thing to add muscle to your skeleton is to add an animal your country is associated with. To demonstrate this, let's play a game. I'll say a country, and you comment the first animal that pops into your head. Okay? America. Japan. Canada. Spain. And Egypt. You can incorporate an animal associated with your culture via their symbols, mythology, art, history, and a whole lot more. Next, let's go to the holiday section of the skeleton and add an animal associated with each holiday, and make 1 more holiday with all the previous details. And yes, the animal is necessarily, every holiday has at least 1 animal associated with it. Halloween has black cats. Easter has bunnies. Oddly enough, Valentine's Day decorations tend to most often, if an animal is included, it's most often, according to my experience, been either a ladybug, fox, or lion as the most common animals involved. And of course, Christmas has reindeer, red cardinals, and polar bears with the odd penguin here and there. The point is, assigning an animal to your holidays can really help when making the rest of it. Next, go to the laws you already made in your culture skeleton and make an additional 2 to 3 more based on the ones you already made. Nothing too big just yet. As an example, in substance, one of the laws in the country of Mubia is that if you get caught abusing your wife or children or are found guilty of it in court, the minimum sentence by law is that you get dragged into the center of your community, and all the men of your community beat the crap out of you. A law that came swiftly after this is that guards and healers must be present during this process to prevent the death of the convicted, as they were sentenced to public beating, not publicly execution. Another thing to add to put muscle in the culture skeleton is symbols of the ruling class, as well as a brief story of how they came into power. It doesn't have to be a big story, but you can use it to lay a foundation so you can explore the political system later. This one may require you to do a little bit of research. But what art supplies would they have had on hand? You can use this to explore a 2 section on art you already put in the skeleton, or to add a new type of art your people regularly indulged in. Now time for everyone's favorite part. Food. What is this culture's common snacks? What is considered a brunch type of food? What is the fancy lady food? And what is their version of dessert? You can use history or look at other cultures for examples to use. If you want to spice it up, add a reason it became a staple in the first place. In substance, the country of Mubia didn't have a lot of things throughout their history. So a common treat was candied flowers. Another common treat, specifically for kids, was lemons dusted with sugar. This is because of an old belief that eating lemons warded off monsters. So throughout their history, lemons were commonly given to children to keep them safe. Now we are at the last step for putting muscles on the skeleton. That I am using as an example for this series for world building a culture. Go through all the information you have just made and write a few new details in your culture's history using what you have created. It might give you more ideas to add on to the culture you're making. Next, I will discuss what I do to add the skin layer to my culture body. Bye for now. Catherine out.